There is one thing which I've consistently maintained on this platform, that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and well executed to achieve specific political objectives. The Deputy President William Ruto, yesterday, through his official Facebook page and Twitter handle, announced the suspension of all his political activities in the country. That move by the Deputy President is intended to achieve specific political objectives. Let me just read for you what the Deputy President posted. He's saying, the upsurge in COVID-19 cases strongly indicates a second wave may be in the offing. For this reason, I have decided to significantly scale down my public engagements until further notice. The empowerment meetings for this weekend in Machakos, Kitui, and Makwiny are postponed. From that announcement, it is clear that the Deputy President suspended their meetings due to the upsurge in COVID. And personally, I don't buy that. Deputy President is the only politician in this country who has publicly disregarded all the COVID measures put in place by the government. And I remember at one point when the Deputy President held a meeting with some church leaders, and President Uhuru Kenyatta also held another meeting with church leaders the same day. And I pointed out that when the pictures from President Uhuru Kenyatta's meeting came out, everybody was on a mask. And the pictures from the Deputy President meeting, none had a mask. So basically the Deputy President was sending a coded message. And if you remember so well, the allies of the Deputy President have always maintained that COVID was a creation of the government to stop the Deputy President from proceeding with his political campaigns. And personally, I strongly believe that could be the reason why the president allowed those rallies to move on. So in my view, the Deputy President suspended his political activities because of two reasons. Number one is the ICC shocker which came yesterday. It's not a small matter. And number two, I also strongly believe that probably he suspended those meetings to re-strategize after the president personally went to Naivasha and met with the members of parliament on how to escalate the Building Bridges Initiative campaigns. But that's not the subject of our discussion today. Today, I want us to look at the latest strategies by the Deputy President to stop President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga from dancing the reggae. He's planning to stop the Building Bridges Initiative process. But before we go into those details, if you're watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now back to the main issue. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga received the Building Bridges Initiative report last week. The Deputy President was present, and the Deputy President actually carried the day at Bomas. But President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga then went to Naivasha and met with the members of parliament. And they agreed to proceed with the Building Bridges Initiative process. I want you to listen to the Deputy President before that particular meeting.
Those who are looking for how to make money from the referendum, I want to advise them there are many tenders they can apply so that they can make money. Let them leave this constitutional making as a Kenyan process. There are those who think they can use this for politics. Let them wait for 2022. We will all do politics. There are people who are determined for us to have us versus them so that they can further their own selfish interests. We want to ask them, it's not necessary to introduce us versus them, winners and losers. The Constitution is for all Kenyans.
So that's the Deputy President. And anybody who's been listening to him and his allies during their public rallies after the Bomas of Kenya will agree that the Deputy President and his allies have been pushing for a consensus over the report, and they've also been pushing for a no campaign And in my view, the deputy president has his options as far as the Building Bridges Initiative process is concerned, especially after the president and Raila Odinga met with members of parliament and senators, are very limited. The deputy president has three options. The first option is to support the Building Bridges Initiative process. He can decide to publicly announce that he's going to support the Building Bridges Initiative process fully. But how will that be taken by his supporters? So that's the question he's asking himself. The second option, which in my view is the best for him politically speaking, is to oppose the Building Bridges Initiative report. Because he's pointed out a few issues which Kenyans really appreciated. Then he can now not go outside there and start supporting the report. So the deputy president, the best option for him is to oppose this Building Bridges Initiative report so that he can use it to achieve so many things. Number one, he can use it to test his campaign machinery. He can use it to test the strength of the deep state. He can use it to identify like-minds like civil society who are going to oppose this report. The deputy president can rally them, the church leadership. So the best option for him, in my view, is to oppose. But there's the third option for the deputy president. And the third option is to abscond from the campaigns. And basically that's what the deputy president has been doing all along. The deputy president, you can't say he has been opposed to this report. You can't say he has been supporting it. You can't say, even his views were never collected. His allies boycotted the event. They wanted to appear. But in my view, they can choose to abscond. Just announce to Kenyans that you don't want to be part and parcel of that process. And because he fears confrontation with the president, the best one, just abscond. But from all indication, the deputy president is under pressure from his allies to actually oppose this report. And I want to expose to you the strategies which the team have crafted. Number one, I think the deputy president and his allies are already mobilizing the pastoralist community. And that's significant politically speaking. For those who remember, William Ruto had a political party called URP. URP political parties was actually a party for the pastoralist. That's why it had that horn as the logo. So the mere fact that the pastoralist came out yesterday, led by Eden Duale, to oppose this report means they are being mobilized. In politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. There is no way Aden Duale, there is no way the member of Parliament, the senator for Narok, Oledama, there is no way all the pastoral, someone like Josephat Nanok can congregate to oppose this report without a political objectives. I want you to listen to them very briefly before we proceed.
You are now saying disregard the work that brought all these Kenyans together and now divide revenue based on population where people live, and then you disregard the issue of land. That is something that we have categorically said no. We have been marginalized for many years. Most crucial thing is that the BBI task force ignored our recommendations.
We are not second-hand citizens, we are citizens of this country. Yes. And equity must prevail in the constitutional process and in the political process.
The ultimate goal of what we are doing is to amend the constitution. Am I right?
Yes.
So who is this person saying you can't amend the proposal? So you are very hypocritical if you tell me that I cannot amend the proposal to amend the constitution.
We'll be engaging the two principles to see whether some of the key issues that were flagged can be incorporated in the document. And that is the essence of this particular group. Thank you so much.
The BBI is a proposal to amend the constitution and the laws so as to attain the aspiration of Kenyan people. As such, it is not cast in stone. And we propose the amendment by pastoralists to be taken on board.
Number two, I think the team is also focusing on the county assemblies. For the Building Bridges Initiative process to proceed to the next level, it means 1 million signatures will have to be collected. After 1 million signatures has been collected and verified by the IBC, The next stage, because collecting 1 million signatures for President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga is a very easy process. In fact, they can collect these signatures even without going outside with the system. The chiefs can be given the forms. I don't know how many number of assistant chiefs we have, and the village elders. Then they'll just be told, can you get 10 people to sign? So it will not be easy for them to stop it at that stage. So once 1 million signature is collected, then it then moves to the next stage. And the next stage is now the county assemblies. And for the Building Bridges Initiative process to proceed, it must get the support of 25 counties. So the deputy president can use all his resources to stop this process here. So he can identify some counties where he controls. Let's say it was in Gishu, Nandi. He can identify those Rift Valley counties, then identify some other counties like the pastoral list, then identify some of them. So he can focus on, let's say, 25 or 26 counties. If those 26 counties will heed to his advice and say no to this document, then it's going to be very easy. It will mark the end of the Building Bridges Initiative process. In fact, it will even be cheaper for the deputy president to identify the MCS. How many MCS do we have in those 25 counties? He wants 24 counties. He won't spend his energy in Rift Valley. Rift Valley has how many, not counties really, how many county assemblies, sorry. So he won't spend much than subjecting himself to a referendum. So let's say he goes to Kirinyaga, where most MCs are with him. And then he can then use money, because politics is about money. Then he can bribe some of the MCs, not all, just a few. Or use the speakers to frustrate the discussion on this bill. Because politics is dirty. So that's, I think, is a strategy based on what I've discussed with some of their people. They are planning to do that. But they fear that this might not succeed. Because strategically, the Building Bridges Initiative report enticed MCS. They are going to be given the ward funds. But there's a propaganda which was started that the MCS will be required to have degrees. So how many MCS have degrees in this country? If you go to county assembly, you'll only find 3 or 4. The rest, they don't. So you can use such kind of propaganda to stop this bill. Just tell MCS, hii kitu ikipita, next time hautakuja. Number 3, and this one now they are using, identify unpopular clauses and take those clauses to the people. If it's about the expansion of the executive, they're going to take those to the people. I listened to the deputy president telling the people in, was it in Tarakanidi? And I think in Tarakanidi or in Choka somewhere. He was telling people that instead of watu watumie pesa kwa referendum, si pesa waweke kwa barabara. That's a deputy president arguing. Yeah? So they can identify some of those clauses which are unpopular with the people and take them outside there to the people. If it's if it's about devolution, they can identify some of those weak links, the way he did at the Bomas of Kenya. Number 4 is the hustler versus dynasty. Again, it's now the opportunity for the deputy president to test whether this hustler versus dynasty is real. Will Kikuyus finally decide to abandon President Uhuru Kenyatta? Will the voters in Luo Nyanza who are poor vote for William Ruto's no side? So this is the time for him to mobilize. And lastly, he can target counties which are going to lose in this proposed Building Bridges Initiative report. We are going to have extra 70 constituencies. These constituencies will nominate some. So according to the list, Mombasa will get 3, Kwale 2, Kilifi 4. Tana River will get 0, Lamu will get 0. So they can target Tana River and Lamu and argue that there's no way Kwale and Kilifi can get, while Tana River and Lamu 0. Then they can go to Taita Taveta, which is getting 0. They can go to Garissa, which is getting 0. Wajir, which is getting 0. Marsabit, which is getting 0. Isiolo, which is getting 0. You go to Meru, they are getting 2. But Tharaka Nithi, 0. So they can target Tharaka Nithi. And of course, with this influence, even Meru they might take. You go to Embu getting 1, then you go to Kitui, which is getting 0. So they can use that county assembly to kick out this report. Nyandarua getting 0, Nyeri 0. Right? How is that possible? So they can use that. Kirinyaga, Muranga 1, Narok getting 3, Kiambu 6, Turkana 1. You go to West Pokot, which is getting 0, Samburu, which is getting 0, then you mobilize those county assemblies. You go to Elgeyo Marakwet, which is getting 0, Nandi 0, Baringo 0. You use that. Kericho is getting 1, Bomet 1, Kajiado 1. You go to Vega, which is getting 0. Then you go to Busia, which is getting 0. You go to Migori and Kisii, which are getting 0. And farm them together. After that, then you can now target some specific constituencies. And that's why Kipchumba Murkomen was very clear when they were in Kajiado over the weekend, that they must be told what is in for Kajiado when it comes to these numbers. I don't know what you think, but in my view, those are the best strategies which the deputy president and his allies can actually explore to stop the Building Bridges Initiative Reggae. Let me know your thoughts on that matter. Thank you guys for taking your time to watch the channel. And for those who are watching for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time you produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day.